Hi there. Welcome to Live with the Paper Pixie. I think it's episode 247, but I should probably check that before I go live. I'm Julie DiMatteo, the Paper Pixie, coming to you live from Alpharetta, Georgia. As you're rolling on in, say hello and where you're watching from. If you're watching on replay, drop hashtag replay in the comments. And if you're new here, put hashtag new so I can say hello to you. Tonight we're going to be doing projects with the Scary Cute bundle. It's not too early for Halloween, is it? So we're going to be doing that tonight. Let me say hello to a few of you. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Sarah. Yay! Thank you, Sarah, for joining me. Hi, Em. Hi, Laura. Jan. Welcome. Cheryl and Faye. Kathy, Nancy, Tracy, Laura, Jackie Beers is in the house. Hello, hi Deanne. Aw, yay, it's Paper Pixie time. New, totally new. Love it, Sarah. Welcome, welcome. All right, I'm seeing more news, but you all are moving so fast. Vicky, welcome, welcome. All right, let me check a couple of you really quickly. Hashtag new, I don't want to miss anybody. Hi, Michelle, welcome. Kittens Cozy Creations. Oh, I love that name. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Melissa. You've been watching first time live. Love it. That counts as new for sure. You guys, thank you. All right, I will check for new again at the end of the live stream. Mr. DiMatteo, are you ready for your cameo? My husband Brian is watching your comments. If you have a question, put a Q colon in front of your question. We will queue your questions for the end of the live stream. That will let me focus on tonight's projects. But I do want to answer all of your questions, so we'll tee those up. If you put a Q colon in front of it, we will do Q&A at the end as quickly as we can, but I'm here till I answer all your questions for sure. Thank you for joining me. All right, let's see. Let's move on to this. If you shop with me, you earn Pixie Perks. So each single order increment of $25 earns a Pixie Perk star. I have a digital loyalty card for my amazing customers. If you earn 10 stars, you get to choose a free stamp set of your choice. And if you want to save up your Pixie Perks rewards, you can trade 2 rewards in for a free stamp and die bundle valued up to $54. I just got a shipment of a bunch of Pixie Perks rewards today, so I'll be shipping those out either tomorrow or Friday. So if you've been waiting on that, this is from about 2 weeks ago, I think. I process them about every 2 weeks. But anyways, you want to make sure you're using the host code on orders under $150. My current host code you can find at the top of my website, thepaperpixie.com. But you can also use my shopping link, thepaperpixie.com/shop. And the host code, or my current host code, will automatically be added to your order. Now, if your order is $150 or more, don't add the host code, because you will earn Stampin' rewards and you'll still earn Pixie Perks on orders of $150 or more. That's the scoop there. I have a hot mess in front of me on my desk because I was frantically getting things ready. I do have show and tell from the kids, and I have a little show and tell from Brian. He doesn't know that I'm going to show it really quickly. All your die cuts, that's what I'm going to show. So my kids, we have a rising first grader, Nolan, and a rising fourth grader, Lily. And each week, if you're new here, they pick something creative that they've created during the week that they want me to show you on my live stream. So they were celebrating the 4th of July at their summer camp. This is Lily's. It's a little wind sock, I think is what that's called. Anyways, they use dot pens, and so she put USA. It's all decorated on the inside, so she had fun. That's what she wanted to show you tonight. Thank you. And then Nolan loves the book, The Day the Crayons Quit, and so he drew some crayons, a rainbow of crayons, he's called it, and he sort of graded himself. I think you can probably see the check marks and 1 X. That means that wasn't a good crayon, so he did it and gave himself a check mark, but I thought that was so cute. I love their happy faces. So that is from the kids, and I'm going to toot my husband's horn because I want to drop them. This dear hubby of mine cut 288, is that right? 288 pieces from, it's the Splendid Day Suite, but these pieces, I'm not going to show you the finished card yet because I don't want to spoil it, but we're making little mini cards for our product share participants, and he cut all of these out, God bless him, because, what was it, 2 days of work? pretty much. Not 2 full days, but you were pretty hardcore working on them. But yeah, he got those all cut for me. Now all I have to do is assemble. I don't want to give away the card, but we've also got all the card bases cut. So I just have to do mass production of these. And let's see, what else can I tell you? We got 11 boxes from Stampin' Up! Today with the product share orders. We upgraded to expedited shipping because of the holiday weekend, and we want to make sure that we can get them processed by next week. So, as you know, when it's product share time here in the Paper Pixie world, everything else seems to slow to a halt. But we got 11 boxes of paper and ribbon. I wish I could show you the pile of ribbon and paper, all present and accounted for. I was able to get everything, nothing sold out. So that is what we will be doing starting tomorrow, is working on paper and ribbon shares. So I know I'm behind on a couple of things. Let me show you what are we making tonight. I'm going to try to get a blog post out by Friday with last week's card set and pouch. That's my plan, but if you don't see that, you know why. It's because we're working on product shares. So I want to show you, we are doing products from this adorable Scary Cute bundle. It's my favorite Halloween bundle in the new mini catalog, which I can show you the inside now because this launched on Friday, July 1st. And I don't know, I just love these cute little silhouettes. This one reminds me of my daughter, and this one reminds me of my son. Super cute. So we're doing easy tonight. As I mentioned, we're in product share mode. So no templates tonight. We're gonna make these quick and easy, but this cute little treat pouch, that's the mini pocket dies. I am taking a little inspiration from the catalog. So don't discount the projects in the catalog. They are great for sparking your inspiration, and I love taking pieces and parts from the samples that I fall in love with, and I absolutely loved. We're going to do the rock and roll technique, Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape for this little treat holder, and I found all kinds of treats to fit in this mini pocket for you. So Airheads fit great. The kids and I dropped by Kroger today to find some treats. Laffy Taffy, which I believe if you look on page 55, I think those are Laffy Taffies in there. So I'm taking some inspiration from this, cute little Halloween pockets. If you don't have the mini pocket dies, I highly recommend them. They're so quick and easy to make. And also a Hershey's snack size, not to be confused with Hershey's miniature, but I think the Hershey's minis, you can fit at least 2, maybe 3 of those in landscape, but the Hershey's snack size fits. Cute little way for giving treats at Halloween. I always say around here, no naked treats, as opposed to no naked envelopes. If you wanted your treats to stay put, just stick a little mini glue dot behind it and they'll stay in that pocket. Shouldn't be too hard for little hands to get that out of there. So those are the treats. What did I say? Airheads, Laffy Taffy, and Hershey's miniature. I'm sure you'll come up with lots of other things. I did find one more treat. This will likely be on a future project, but these would probably work as well. These remind me of the Merci chocolates, but these are by Godiva. And I found these at Kroger. I don't think I've noticed them anywhere else, but maybe you guys have found them before. I've not tried them. So, all right, next is the card that we're gonna make. Cute little silhouettes here. We've got the Halloween house, and I added the big rhinestone so that it looks like the moon, which I thought was cute. So let's start with the treat pocket. I'm gonna go ahead and bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I've got all my little Post-it tape here, and I'm gonna show you, I've shared this before with the Cottage Rose stamp set, I think that is, but a way to maximize your designer series paper so you have very little waste. So you want to start with, am I doing this piece? I feel like I had a different piece picked out. We'll do the same one. I think this one is cut to size. Let's measure. 4 1/4 by 5. And I think you can get 1, 2, 3, 4 of these out of a sheet of 12 by 12. You're gonna have some extra, but 4 1/4 by 5 is gonna be just perfect for you to fit the mini pocket dies. Let me see where I put those. So there is a link in the description to shop this episode's products. I put in the Scary Cute bundle, the mini pocket envelope dies, what else did I add to it? The black and white designs paper and the stitched rectangles. But so we're going to grab this large die. This is the only die we're using from this, but it's the one that I use the most. It comes with lots of other adorable pieces and parts as well. You can check out how to create that bow from a past video from me as well. So here's the trick with this. Now before it was really easy with the magnetic cutting plate. That is currently on hold right now. So I'm going to put the edges of this, let me show you. These are the cut edges on the die. I'm going to put the paper right up to those edges. So you'll see that it's going to be a perfect fit. You can kind of feel the edge of the die when it hits the edge of the paper. So that's what we want to run through. Now, if you're worried about it slipping on you, Post-it tape is right in front of me. I have all of this on my die cutting machine. I'm about to rip new ones off. Here we go. I just want to make sure that that's all the way up to the edge, and I'm just going to put Post-it tape just in 2 spots to sort of anchor it there. And then run this through the die cutting machine. I'm going to put this at a little bit of an angle so that we don't get too many speed bumps on the way through. My die cutting machine's been making some funny noises lately. So yay, it's quiet. So there we go. And what this die does is not only does it cut, it also scores for you, which makes this really great for mass producing these. All right, so can you see that? We've got the die, or the scored lines, and then the cut edges, and I absolutely love that scalloped edge. All right. I'm gonna move this out of the way for a minute, and then we're gonna bring it back once we do the stamping. So next I'm gonna go ahead and fold and burnish on the score lines. Love how easy this die makes it. No need to figure out measurements other than the size of the paper you're starting with. And if you think you're going to be a little heavy-handed with your adhesive, I do recommend using liquid glue here because that's pretty thin for our tear and tape. Go ahead and grab the silicone craft mat, and I'm just going to do a thin bead of glue along each of these little tabs that are already built in. Got a new glue bottle here, so I got to be careful. The glue likes to ooze out when it's new. All right, so I just did a thin line of that, and then I'm going to go ahead and fold this down. And see, I've got a little bit of glue squeezing out, and that's great because it'll just go right onto the silicone craft mat. And I like to come in and burnish to get that nice and stuck down. Ooh, good. I wondered about that, Kate. She tried using E6000 glue on her magnetic plate. I've heard Gorilla Glue too as well. Not endorsing that by any means, but since we all got a refund, worth a try, right? All right, so there we go. We have that instant pocket. So stinking cute. All right, I've got my heat tool behind me. We're gonna do a little bit of heat embossing as well. So I've got a piece of basic black that measures 1 5/8 by 3. Let me bring in my heat embossing tools here. We've got Versamark white embossing powder, which comes in the basics now. It's white, clear, and black. There's also the metallics, which is copper, silver, and gold. But they come in 3 packs now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my little embossing buddy. This is my original one, but we do have a new one in the embossing toolkit, or embossing additions toolkit, I think is what it's called, in the new mini catalog. And we're doing Trick or Treat, You're So Sweet. I'm gonna do that right towards the top, pardon my head here. And then we're going to go ahead and put the powder on. Now I did that towards the top there, okay? Now to hold it, in that Embossing Additions toolkit, we've got some reverse tweezers. So I'm gonna go ahead and use that. Let me get the powder closed up before I run that heat tool. Otherwise, we're gonna have a grand mess on our hands. All right. Heat tool with a little bit of noise here, and let's see if you can watch this turn. There we go. That is every single time so magic to watch. There's a little shine on the white. You can see that. All right, I'm gonna put this to the side for a second. I'm like squeezing it in the wrong spot, you guys. My brain today. All right. Basic white. Oh, here we go. Just got a scrap piece of basic white, and we're gonna get that cute little princess. I think it's a princess, fairy, not a princess, a fairy with the fairy wings. I think it's a pixie. That's what we'll call it. All right, so I'm gonna do the rock and roll technique. You can do this either directly with an ink pad, or you can also do this with our sponge daubers, which I can't find any sponge daubers. How crazy is that? So we're just gonna rock and roll here. I've got Highland Heather and Gorgeous Grape. You wanna ink it up with the lighter color first. I want to make sure I've got good coverage, so I'm just going to keep checking that till I know that it's got good coverage there. I think that's good coverage. Having a hard time seeing. And then I'm just going to roll the outside edge. Now I'm going to get a little bit of ink here. Let's do that a little bit different. I'm just gently rolling it. Now look, I'm making a total mess there, so we want to make sure that we don't push down too hard. That's going to be a little bit of a variation of the dark purple and the light purple. Go ahead and stamp that down. Again, sponge dauber gives you a little bit more control. That's still pretty darn cute. Okay, you can rock and roll a little bit more if you want to as well. Now you'll need to clean it before you do multiple images of that. How we doing? And then I'm going to take the Stitched Rectangles dies, and there's this rectangle here, which is the perfect size. Let me show you on the stamp set. It's going to cut out all of our cute little people. So Frankenstein, our little vampire, our little fairy, or pixie. So those three, I love that. So we're gonna go ahead and, Q-tips, great idea, Sharon. Thank you. Clean up that rogue ink on the sides. Grabbing some Post-it tape here. Get that centered up. It's not the prettiest rock and roll stamped image, but I'm going with it. Bringing in the die cutting machine, the Big Boss. It's funny, I always grab the Big Boss, but we could absolutely use the mini one as well. That Post-it tape's just gonna hold it in place. And again, I'm gonna put that at a bit of an angle. That just means that you're not getting a total flat edge of the die going through the rollers at the same time. Then that's when you start to get the speed bumps and lots of crackling noises when you do it that way. I did that earlier and Brian was like, what was that? I'm like, speed bumps. And then just be gentle with the Post-it tape so you don't tear your basic white. But how cute is that little framed image? Love it. Super cute. I need to re-ink my Highland Heather, I think. All right, so what I'm gonna do next is we're gonna pop this up underneath that heat embossed sentiment. I'm gonna grab a few dimensionals here, maybe just a pair. Oh, I'm skipping ahead here. Hold on, let me stick those back. there's one thing I wanted to do first and add a cute little bow like this with the gingham ribbon. So my trick for this is grab some glue dots. I'm going to start with my take your pick tool, and I'm going to put one, not quite in the center, but kind of where I want to put the center of that bow. Okay, so I stuck that down there, and I'm just going to do kind of a crisscross here, a faux bow like I did last week or the week before. I don't remember now. The week before, I think. So I'm literally just crisscrossing those over to make it look like it's a bow. And I'm going to start by sticking that middle piece down on that glue dot. Now these two are going to be kind of loose. You're going to take 2 more glue dots for that. I'm going to take one, pop it in the center there. Little trick here, and then stick that one side down, okay? And then a second one. Nobody's going to see these. We're sort of sneaking a faux bow here. Just make sure your loops are somewhat uniform, like that. So it goes glue dot, ribbon, glue dot, ribbon, glue dot, ribbon, okay? Just crisscross like that. Those glue dots are going to hang tight. Then I'm going to come in with my paper snips and just trim the ends just like it was a real bow. I guess technically it's a bow just without the knot. Now what we can do is salvage those 2 dimensionals. And I'm just going to put one at the top and one at the bottom so that faux bow is going to kind of fit between them. And we're going to pop that just underneath the sentiment. I'm trying to center it left to right. And about, I don't know, a 1/16 of an inch or so underneath the sentiment, like that. And then let's do a quick and easy banner end here. So we've got about, I don't know, 1/2 of an inch of space here at the bottom. I'm going to come up, oh, I'm eyeballing it, maybe 3/8 of an inch. I'm just making a slit, like so. And then we are going to cut. Hopefully you can see that. Sometimes it's hard to see on the black, but I've got that slit right there. We're going to cut from the corner to the top of the slit, corner to the top of the slit, and that's going to create a quick and easy banner end. So there's 1/2 of it. Then we'll come in. Now cutting that slit first means that you can get a perfect banner end. I think it's easier for you to see it that way. Cute. All right. Got to put a rhinestone, right? So we'll do a little tiny rhinestone in her ponytail, which I thought was a cute spot to put it. Now, because we're going to be putting a treat into this pouch, we're just going to put a vertical trio of dimensionals. That way it'll stay stuck to the mini pocket while there's still a treat in there. Because you'll see once a treat's in there, it sort of bows out a bit. So just 3 right down the center there. And then I'm going to pop that up, centering it left to right, top to bottom, grabbing a treat. Did you eat the treats already? Just kidding. Brian does not have a sweet tooth. I don't understand that man. And then there we go. We'll put a little airhead in there. How cute is that? I like her better because her rock and roll looks nicer. But again, I would recommend, especially with the firm foam ink pads, definitely using a sponge dauber if you have it, because you can get a little bit more control about where you put the ink, but super sweet and cute. Love the variation of the 2 purples. And you can do lots of fun things with the other stamps in here. This doesn't have to be a cute little girly treat holder. You could just do like a crisscross of the gingham ribbon instead of the loop-de-loop bow loops there. The loop-de-loop bow loops. It's one of Julie-isms going on tonight. But then do these, like the Frankenstein I would do in 2 shades of green maybe. This little guy, you could do maybe 2 shades of orange would be cute. Something, I love the green, purple, and orange color combination for Halloween, but this would work for all 3 of these guys. And any of these sentiments will work at the top of this as well. So I measured, this is 1 5/8 inch width, so you can switch up your sentiments. So that one definitely fits. That one will fit a little tight. That'll fit. And that one will be a little tight too, but they should all fit widthwise. So lots of fun, super versatile bundle here. All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into the, oh cute, looks like she's like on the edge of a spotlight. I love that, Beth. Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's card, and then we'll jump into Q&A after that. Trying to clean up my mess here just a little bit. All right, so Scary Cute, we're not using this yet or anymore. This is a quick and easy card as well. So we're gonna start with Gorgeous Grape, and I've got the card base already cut and scored, 4 1/4 by 11, scored in half at 5 1/2, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and turn that valley score line into a mountain fold and burnish. I've got a piece of basic white, and this measures 4 by 5 1/4, and that's going to go on the inside. But why don't we do a little cute stamping here? Let's bring in Gorgeous Grape. And I've got this cute little silhouette. This guy is the same proportions to this trio of friends here, which we're going to stamp that as well. But I'm going to put him in the corner with the sentiment boo. So we'll do that in the lower right corner. And pop him here. Oh, that's so, I love these silhouettes. Aren't they so cute? And then let's put Boo above him. Sweet little surprise on the inside of the card. Got a little bit of a halo effect there. That's all right. Now, let's see if I can salvage that. If you don't have this, this is an adhesive eraser, or I'm sorry, an ink eraser. And I have that listed on my favorites page. It comes in a 2-pack. But I'm gonna come in and try to see if I can get rid of that halo. If you're pretty quick after you stamp, you can at least get rid of some of it. Now the other thing is, see that little halo there? Cardstock is 2-sided for a reason, so we can just flip it over and do it again. How's that? I'm a big fan of stamping before you glue it down. Yes, the mono sand eraser, that's right. I'm going to try to get that halo ink off of there. There we go. Boo. All right. And actually, let me leave that ink out. I'm also going to grab the little trio of silhouettes. These guys are so cute. And I've got a piece of Gorgeous Grape. This measures 1 1/4 by 4 1/4. Ink that up in the same Gorgeous Grape. Will you grab Jane's question? Thank you. Jane, Brian's grabbing your question for you to put it in my Q&A at the end. And I'm just going to stamp that off to the right. Look how cute they are. Oh, now that'll lighten up just a little bit, but I love doing the tone on tone, cardstock and ink matching colors. All right, and then I've got a scrap of pumpkin pie, which is perfect for Halloween, and we're gonna stamp Halloween Happiness in Stays On, because I do love Stays On for, let me see if I can find it, for black ink, especially with red rubber, because you can clean the red rubber with the Stays On cleaner, but I just think it gives a much sharper ink. I prefer Stays On over Memento. It just is what it is, and I do love the smell of Stays On. It reminds me of almond extract. But I want to make sure that's good and inky so we can get a nice sharp stamped image. There we go. Halloween, oh, it's not focusing. Halloween happiness, okay? I do have dimensionals holding that plastic cover in there that always sticks to the lid. And if you don't have the Stays On cleaner, we do sell that as well. Do not use this on your photopolymer unless you're gonna really wash it off right away. But this will ultimately break down your photopolymer stamps. It works great on red rubber. And it's got, mine's gonna look real dirty, but it has a little applicator tip that you just use to rub onto your stamps. And then I just use the Stampin' Scrub to clean that off, okay? Now, in the dies is this really great banner, and I wanted to also show you, this will work with all the sentiments as well. So Halloween happiness, trick or treat, you're so sweet, stay boo, or say boo and scary on, and love at first bite. It will work with all 4 of those sentiments. You could also get it to work with the to and from, because those are 2 separate stamps. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay that on there. Grab some Post-it tape to hold it in place, and we'll die cut this as well as the Halloween haunted mansion. It's too early for Halloween, isn't it? Brian's laughing at me. Oh, Halloween I feel like comes and goes so quickly that I want to be ready for my trick-or-treaters. All right, we'll put this guy here. Just grabbing some basic black here. I'm just gonna cut out a little piece. We don't need this big of a piece. Going through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. There we go. That doesn't need tape to hold into place. And we'll run that through. Oh, did you hear that? That's so bad. Oh, all right, hold on. You're gonna hear it while it goes all the way through. So bad. Why is that? That was bad. Mr. Fix-It will fix it for me. Let's hope that it die cut. I think it's mad at me for all the die cutting we've been doing. Perhaps. Sorry, everybody, for that sound. Yeesh. All right, here is our haunted mansion. You're looking at the die cutting machine. Does it look like it's okay? Oh man. Am I the only one that's sweating after that noise? And then there is our sweet little banner. Love that. All right. I'm gonna give you a break, big boss. Don't you worry. All right, get this mess cleaned up here. Okay, go to bed for the night, okay? I think I'm done with it, right? Yes. Okay, so bringing back the silicone craft mat. I'm gonna put a little bead of glue on the house, and then we'll put the sweet card together. Ooh, WD-40, that's what Darlene says. Probably.
No, I think it's more than that.
You think it's more than that? All right, I'm just putting a thin bead of glue right along the base of that house, and I'm gonna pop my sentiment right over the top there, just centering it left to right. There's that. Cute, okay. All right, so bringing in the card base, let's go ahead and adhere the inside layer. Oh gosh. Of course it happens during a live stream. I was trying to be so nice to her, and that's how she treats me on a live stream. I'm talking about my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine for those of you that may have just joined.
My machine doesn't do that.
Your machine doesn't do that. I know Brian's been using the Big Shot Express, the electric one. It doesn't make that noise, does it? Now, I did do this on the back side of the paper, if you remember, because I had a bit of a halo. So I've got a little bit of a raised edge here. So I'm just going to smooth that out with my bone folder. So So there's that on the inside. I love that little guy holding the little lantern. Boo! All right, so on the front, I've got a piece of the Black and White Designs Designer Series paper. Great pack of paper because you can turn this into so many different colors with our Stampin' Blends and blending brushes and alcohol spritzers. Oh my, you can name it all. But this measures 3 inches by 4¼ inches, and that's going to be a perfect fit here in the center. I think it's 3/4 of an inch of the gorgeous grape that you will see around each of the edges. Perfect sound for Halloween. Yes, I planned that, Kathleen. I'm just kidding. Oh gosh. It's like a creaky door opening in that haunted house. I think that's what was happening. Speaking of which, I finished Stranger Things this weekend. So good. Season 4, part 2. And now we have to wait. But good stuff. Any other Stranger Things fans out there? And thank you for helping me with the song by Kate Bush. I could not think of her name last week. So there's that. And then this piece, I'm just going to layer over the center here. Now, what I like to do is measure. You should have 1.5 inches of the Designer Series paper on either side of this centerpiece. So if you use liquid glue, you can usually slide it around just a little bit if you need to. I'm going to lay that down, and then before I press it into place, just make sure I've got 1.5 inches. There we go. You can also use kind of the zigzags on the Designer Series paper. Now I see I've got a little bit of an overhang here, so this seems to be a little bit longer than 4¼ inches. I'm just going to come in and trim that off. Voila. All right, so we got that there. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is tie the black and white gingham ribbon. Grabbing, well, let's use the reverse tweezers we used for embossing. There we go. We got some Rogue Stampin' Dimensionals backings from our discussion last week. So I kind of put it underneath the card flap. Okay. And I bring it over to where I kind of want to tie the knot right here, sort of underneath those silhouettes. So I'm just bringing over enough of a tail there. I love to tie off the spool. I'm going to crisscross it and then come in with the reverse tweezers for my third hand here and hold that crisscross in place because I can let go and it's going to hold that. Gives me time to focus on the rest of the bow. And then once you get the bow mostly there, pull out your reverse tweezers and then we can zhuzh our bow. I like putting my fingers in there to get the loops nice and cute. I'm going through a little bit of grief with Stranger Things being over because I did kind of binge it. I binged the last one. You guys probably feel that way when you binge TV. It's like, oh, I wish there was more. Then I'll just trim off the ends here. And I'm going to slide this to where I want it. I'm going kind of I'm pushing it just up to the base of that 1¼ inch strip. I think I told you the size of that, but just in case, 1¼ by 4¼ And then this guy, we're going to pop kind of over the ribbon like so. Grabbing some dimensionals, but I'm going to be strategic about where to stick them because I don't want them sticking to the ribbon so much. So just a trio, and I'll put one up as high as I can on the haunted house. So leaving some space at the bottom or where the pumpkin pie is, because then the ribbon can sit under there. And then we'll pop this about there. And then I thought clean up my mess a bit. Rhinestones. Didn't I just have the rhinestones? Yes. I'm going to grab a large rhinestone. I always put my take your pick tool over there for some reason. And a large rhinestone, let's grab a really shiny one. I'm gonna pop it here because I thought that totally looked like the moon. Like the trick-or-treaters are trick-or-treating under the moon next to the haunted house. So fun and cute, quick and easy, scary cute card. Would be really cute to send to grandchildren or nieces or nephews for Halloween. So let's clean up my mess here, and I'll bring out both projects. I forgot to use our speakers. There we go. So here we've got our scary cute Halloween card and our scary cute treat holder. If you're interested in purchasing these products, there is a link in the description that says shop this episode's products, and you can see the scary cute bundle, the mini pocket dies, the stitch rectangle dies, the black and white designs paper, and I think and the gingham ribbon. I just put sort of the highlighted products that I use tonight. You can always purchase any of the ink we use, the cardstock, etc. You can all find that in my online store at thepaperpixie.com/shop. How about we jump into some Q&A? Let me go ahead and get that teed up really quickly.
You want to do new?
Yep, I'm going to check first if we've got any.
And also do first.
First, got it. So new. Let's see. I said hi. Melissa, Hannah, welcome. Lynn, welcome. Lynn McFarland, Hannah Redman, welcome. And you said first?
Yep.
Let's see. Elaine, welcome. You're new here as well. RN, your first time live. Welcome. That's awesome. Okay, very cool. Oh, awesome. Okay, let me go ahead and jump into questions here. All right, just reading through comments very quickly, and let's pop them up. Let's start at the top. Diane, welcome. You got Q in your comments, so that's why you're popping up in the questions. Hello, Susan. Do product shares earn Pixie Perks? Carla, they do not. I did that once, and it was not a big mistake, but it's really hard for me to keep track of things outside of orders through the Stampin' Up! Store, so no, product shares do not count towards Pixie Perks.
You have other benefits.
Yes. What do you mean?
Like you free product.
Oh, yeah. And then, let's see. My favorite Halloween costume as a youngster, Sally. Ooh, good question. It's going to be an apple costume. My mom was obsessed with apples. Like, our whole kitchen was decked out with apples, red apples. And she made me an apple costume. I probably was 2 or 3 when I wore that costume. Anyways, I've seen tons of pictures. I absolutely loved it. It was this big round. I had an apple hat that had a stem and a leaf. It was so cute. So probably that was my favorite childhood one. And then I think my favorite one that I came up with, so basically I used things that were in my house, was Madonna. I had jelly bracelets all the way up my arm. I made my hair all big, full of hairspray and stuff. So yeah, Madonna was probably a second favorite. Good question. Rising is not an expression we use in Canada. So rising first grader, yes, going into first grade. So he just finished his kindergarten year, and Lily just finished her 3rd grade year. So rising first grader, rising 4th grader. Yes, I will be quite busy, Debbie, or we will be quite busy. Did I miss any? Okay. Linda, yes, it is a good size for gift cards. I'm double checking that one more time, but I'm 99% sure. Yeah, it's a perfect size for gift cards. Okay. All right. Does your die make a good impression for the middle score line? It does, Tammy. I haven't had any issues with that. If you are having issues with yours, if you've already got the dies, just throw in, you could try either, I'd start small, like a piece of copy paper as a shim, and see if that might help. And then if that still doesn't help, then maybe step up to maybe a piece of cardstock. What you might run into, though, is if you add too thick of a shim, then you're going to end up getting those lines cut instead of just scored. So try a couple of things if you're not getting a good score line. The other thing you can do is sort of a workaround is add the score line yourself or reinforce it. But I would try using a shim first. How long do you have between putting on the powder and using the heat tool before it dries and won't heat? Good question. You've got a little bit of time. But I don't know how much time. I probably wouldn't go longer than like a minute or two. The Versamark ink has, I think it's a glycerin base, so it stays sticky. It doesn't really dry out rapidly, but I would say probably a minute or two is about what you have. And absolutely, you could do multiple stamped images at once for sure. Maximize your time for sure. How do you keep the embossing buddy from leaving powder marks on dark cardstock? Any suggestions for removing those marks? Great question, Linda. I try not to drop the embossing buddy onto dark cardstock. I really just try to wipe. That reduces kind of getting that powder sort of explosion on your dark cardstock. The other thing that you can do is to take either like a Swiffer, or even if you have them, fabric softener. Try a Swiffer though. I've had some good luck with the little Swiffers to pick up that dust that's left behind, especially on dark cardstock. So try those two things. Great question, Lynn. I think I got that answered. So yeah, I think you can absolutely do 4 or 5 tags at a time. Absolutely. Do you do gift cards for the holidays and birthdays? Patty, I do have gift certificates on my website, thepaperpixie.com/gift. And you can purchase gift certificates that way. I don't do them specifically for holidays. They are just e-gift cards or e-gift certificates. Those can only be redeemed through me, meaning they can't be used in the online store. I just have to place the order for those gift certificate redemptions. How come you always use your scoreboard to score instead of the paper trimmer score blade? I love this question, Tammy. Personally, or at least in my experience, I'm more accurate scoring with the Simply Scored than with the paper trimmer, and that's simply because of human interference, right? So I'm needing to be the one to line up the measurements on the paper trimmer to score, and sometimes I can be a little bit off. I find that I'm a lot more accurate using the Simply Scored. Love that tip, Sharon. Again, Q-tips clean up the rogue ink on the edges of your stamps. A sponge dauber, Sarah. I wish I had one to show you, but it's a little, I'm showing you my finger like you can see. It's a little fingertip. You know, back in the day when you were kids, you used to put like black olives on your fingertips. That's what sponge daubers remind me of. They're a black plastic, and then there's a little foam tip on them. It's probably only about 1/2 of an inch or 5/8 of an inch in diameter, but it's got a little sponge tip. You stick it on the end of your finger, and it gives you some control with applying ink to, especially with what we did tonight. So they come in a pack of 5. Stampin' Up! Does sell those as well. How do you clean your stamps when using the Versamark ink? Myrtle, I just use Stampin' Mist and the Stampin' Scrub. Let me grab mine. Where is my Stampin' Mist? It's right here. Let's come back to this really quickly. All right, so I use the Stampin' Scrub, which I love. I think you can see up here, there are little raindrops. This is the side that you spray your Stampin' Mist. Now the Stampin' Mist now comes in an 8-ounce spray bottle. I've had this for ages. This is what we used to have, a 2-ounce with an 8-ounce refill. Now they just sell the 8-ounce bottle with the spray. So you spray on the water droplet side. Hopefully, trying to catch the light there. Water droplets. And then you dry on the sunshine side. So let me show you, since we got some messy stamps here. This will also condition your stamps, which I love. We'll clean up our little Pixie here. So I just do, I don't know, 3 to 5 sprays of the Stampin' Mist on the raindrop side. And then actually I should be cleaning the Versamark one. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that that's clean. I got some on the edge there too. Let's clean, you can clean the blocks off as well. So it's kind of shiny and wet from the Stampin' Mist. And then we got a brand new clean stamp. My Versamark one, I do the same thing. Stampin' Mist as well. Give it a good scrub. And then that one's all clean and ready to go. Okay? Great question. All right. What am I calling the bow? I'm calling it a faux bow. F-A-U-X-B-O-W. Only because we're not actually tying a knot on the bow. It's just kind of like a crisscross. So yeah, faux bow. It probably sounds weird. Maybe a little bit of my Midwestern mixed with Southern accent. I don't really have a Southern accent, but there are some things I say. What is it with men? I have a son-in-law who can eat just one, what? Just one Oreo cookie. Could you eat just one? You wouldn't eat, he wouldn't eat any, he says. I do not understand either, but you know what? That means more for us, right, Linda? Do I always make my cards with the fold on top? Not always, Deborah, but most of the time, and really it is because it photographs better. Now, I will say, like, recipients are so used to cards opening from left to right, or right to left, that they may have not really realized how to open this, but with the hinge on top, I can take a photograph of this better. So it's more just out of habit. The mini pocket envelope die is the one I used now. Yes, that's correct, Jane. Thank you, Vay. You love the Q&A. Papa Pixie is around. He usually doesn't comment as much. He's watching from YouTube. And so I think for him, he's watching it on TV. I know he's listening to me right now. He's watching on TV, so he doesn't have an easy way to comment, but he'll usually pop in at the end with a few round of applause emojis. That's about all we get from Papa Pixie these days, but he's watching on the big screen at home, so he's spoiled, right? How do I know when it's enough ink on the stamp? Sarah, it's really just the way I take a look at it just to make sure that it looks like there's enough ink coverage. Like I'm not seeing any splotches or anything like that. On the lighter colors, that's harder to see, especially on the red rubber stamps. But I do tap, tap, tap a few times, and then I look at the stamp to make sure it looks like it's got good coverage. You could either try stamping it off to kind of get a feel for if you've got enough ink on it before you stamp it on your project. But usually if you stamp first on some scrap paper, I don't know, I feel like it picks ink up better the second time you ink it up for some reason. Maybe that's part of like conditioning the stamps or something, but usually you can tell by looking at it if you've got full coverage. I would like the envelope dies and that black and white paper. Yes, Yvette. So in the description of the video, there is a link, and you should be able to uncheck the things that you don't want to add to your cart. There's little check boxes next to it. So you could just leave the mini pocket envelope dies and the black and white designs and uncheck the other things. And then you should be able to click add to cart. So let me know if you have any questions with that. Yes, a business card will fit inside this pouch. We tested that when we used that a few weeks ago. So yeah, business card will fit perfectly, and a great way to give business cards, especially for Stampin' Up! Demonstrators, right? Do you flip-flop your die cutting plates to keep them from warping? Yes. Brian is way better at it than I am. He flip-flops them every time it goes through the machine, don't you? Just about every time.
No,
Every few times. I will usually not flip them until they have to be flipped. But yes, flip-flopping it actually keeps them flat for longer, which gives you a better cutting experience. Yes, Tina, I try to make a treat holder for each of our trick-or-treaters. There's been a few years where I've been like, nope, I don't have time to do it. But we usually get about, 50 trick-or-treaters? We don't get a lot. So in the house I grew up in, we used to get 300 to 400 trick-or-treaters. We had I think I've told the story before, but we had a robotic Frankenstein, which actually it's Frankenstein's monster, we learned, because Frankenstein's the doctor. Anyways, Frankenstein, we call him Frank for short. But my parents' good friend Tom had a robotic Frankenstein that we put in our front yard. He could sit in the upstairs closet and talk to the kids and talk to them about their costume, and they felt like Frankenstein was talking to them. So we would get like 350 or so trick-or-treaters. My mom used to count the number of pieces of candy she put out, probably so she could save up for next Halloween, because that's a lot of trick-or-treaters. Good question, Carla. I think you can lubricate the die cut machine. I think it would be WD-40. Was that what you would lubricate gears with? Brian's saying no. What would you use?
I don't know. I'd have to open it up and see what it is.
Okay. But yes, I think you can. You just have to be careful when you take it apart. You got to be able to put it back together. And I'm not sure at which point you start to void the warranty. That's the only thing I get nervous about, talking about taking apart the machine. So, oh, good. And yes, my style too, quick and easy cards. I love them. The ink pen thing you're using for the jewels, that is called the Take Your Pick tool, Sarah. And it has interchangeable tips. Do I have the other one out here? I don't think I do. It comes with the putty tip, and that's just a putty end here. And then you get a couple of different attachments. This one is like a spatula. Sorry, I'm trying not to get that to unfocus. You've also got a piercing end, and then there are scoring ends. So a smaller ball tip and a bigger ball tip. All of that comes with the Take Your Pick tool. And there is also a die brush tip that would replace the putty tip. I always recommend to buy two Take Your Pick tools. I want to say they're $10. I have two. One I keep the putty tip on, and one I keep the die brush tip on. But I don't know where that one is. I was using it earlier today. Somewhere in this hot mess of a craft room. Anyways, love that Take Your Pick tool. Thank you, Fiona. Papa Pixie's doing well. He just had 3 stents put in last week. He had a heart catheterization, and he's doing well. Thank you for asking. Any tips on how to easily open ink pads? Mine are very tight, and even trying to pop the top doesn't work. I sometimes have to pry them open. Ooh, Paula, it sounds like your ink pads need to be broken in a little bit. Usually new ink pads can be pretty difficult to open. I'm just going to show you my technique. Not that it's really a technique, but let's see. I don't know if this is going to help if it's pretty stiff, but you kind of want to open them like a compact first. I don't know, I put it like this way and I use my thumb here to open. And then you have to be, this is the part that can be pretty stiff getting it in. It does take a little while to get that sort of broken in there. The other tip that I have is if you're having a hard time pulling this out, push from the back to get it kind of started. So see how I'm pushing that from the back and also pulling? That will kind of get that going again. But yeah, I just recommend open it like a mirror or a compact first and make sure that it's completely flat before you try to push it this way. So it does catch a little bit, but after you open and close them a little bit, they should break in a bit. I hope that helped. Nothing super, I didn't have anything grand to say about that, but it does take a little bit to break in. Let's see, what is a product share? So Sarah, product shares I offer when there's a launch of a new catalog. So we just did our signups and closed them for the current brand new mini catalog that launched on Friday, and it's what it sounds like. You essentially get a quarter of the paper or the ribbon in the catalog as opposed to needing to invest in full packages of paper and ribbon. It's just a way to sort of share with 3 other people. Now it sounds like that's a lot of work. We do all the work. We kind of put you in groups of 4, but it's not like you have to find people to join your share. But essentially we've got 20 different papers this go round, and everybody's getting a quarter of each pack of the 20 papers. So I think it was like 195 sheets of paper, I think was what it was. That's off memory in case I'm incorrect. But they would have, and that's 6 by 6. So we basically just quarter everything. We quarter each roll of ribbon, we quarter each paper, and divvy it up amongst 4 people. So hopefully that makes sense. You get a little sampling of everything for a fraction of the price, and then that gives people an idea of which papers or which ribbons they want to buy a full pack or a full spool of. The black and white ribbon, Lynn, is in the, I don't want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, sorry, Yvette, I just rolled right past here. I saw on the site there was a planner, but can't find them anymore. So the planner, Yvette, is an exclusive free gift with the starter kits. The starter kit is our $99 option. It is the opportunity to join as a demonstrator. It gives you the opportunity to have a business, not the obligation. You could simply enjoy the discount as a hobbyist. With the starter kit from now through August 31st, there is a whole making plans kit. It comes with a paper planner, a trio of notebooks, as well as a stamp set that you can create. Everybody loves to sort of stamp and decorate their planners. That planner is a $45 value and comes with the starter kit now through August 31st. So feel free to shoot me an email if you want some more details about that. I've got a great page with all of the my top 10 reasons why I think purchasing the starter kit's the best decision ever. That's thepaperpixie.com/top 10 or top 10. You can check that out. But feel free to ask me any questions. The black and white ribbon, Lynn, let me tell you which page it's on. It's in the annual catalog, and it is on page, I'll switch the camera over here in a second. It went over here, sweetie. We'll get it with the magnet thing. I gotta tell that story. So here is the black and white gingham ribbon, page 146. Okay. $7. We've had this for a little while, but I absolutely love it for so many things. It's great for Halloween as well. A great question. All right. How do you send in the mail? I think you're asking, Jane, about the pocket. Is that right?
I think so.
So the treat pocket, or I should say the mini pocket die, while this size is too small, you can't mail it this size, you could put it into a note card. So the minimum size here in the US that we can mail is 3.5 by 5. You could put this in a mini card, or even just, not a mini card, a note card, or even just a note card envelope with a couple of pieces of cardstock cut to 3.5 by 5. Or you could put it in one of our medium envelopes with a couple of pieces of cardstock cut to 4.25 by 5.5. And then that you can mail that in a medium envelope. And if you're asking about the card, this is a normal A2 size, no problem in mailing that. I would put a piece of cardstock over the front of it so that there's no speed bumps going through the postage meter as they scan those in because of the rhinestone, okay? Ooh, Mike Hines, good question. What is a must-have from the new annual catalog and the mini? Oh my. That is a really tough question. A must-have. I'm trying to think. In the annual catalog, there are some standalone dies that I absolutely love. I'm doing this on the fly here. Let's see. I think my favorite in the mini catalog are the stylish shapes. I will switch the camera over here in a second. Yes. This one is one of my favorites. Stylish shapes dies. Super versatile. You got squares, circles, and banners. They all have a stitched edge. That is one of my must-haves from the catalog. And then from the mini, let's see. I'm going straight for the bundles here because I think this is so full of Christmas. That's probably what I'm going to end up picking here. Ooh, such a good question. This is a tough one for sure. There is one that's got some fantastic sentiments. It's a punch bundle. Pardon me. I'm still figuring out which page is which. Is it Very Best Occasions? Yeah, let's go to page 68. Now this changes throughout the catalog period, but I love this bundle. It's a punch bundle. It's $41.25. Very Best Occasions. You get a trio punch and then some really fantastic sentiments for the holidays and any other time of the year as well. You got birthday, thinking of you, with comfort and love. Love you, mean it. Love you, miss you. Super fun. So I don't know. Those are off the top of my head on the fly. Those would be some of the things that I suggest from the two catalogs, but great question. How do you clean your Stampin' Scrub? So Lee, I actually, it's always easier for me to demonstrate it for some reason. So I actually would drizzle a little bit of dish soap. I leave everything in here. Now you can pop the scrubs out. I typically will drizzle a little bit of soap on here and just get my hands nice and inky and dirty and run the faucet and kind of wash it like I'm washing my hair, okay? Just with my fingertips. And then I will keep rinsing until all the suds are gone and until until the water is running clear. You will be amazed at how much ink both of these hold, even though this is the drying one. My other tip too is before you clean your stamp, grab a piece of grid paper and stamp off all the excess ink before you clean it. And that means you can go longer between cleaning times, but I just use dish soap and my fingertips not my fingernails, my fingertips, scrub it out, and then rinse till the suds are gone and the water's running clear. Great question. All right. Let's see. Do you give cards as gifts for holidays, birthdays? I personally don't, Patty, but I know a lot of people that do. So I have done, actually I take that back. I have done it before where I've given people a whole set of like thank you cards. It's a great gift for a wedding, especially for people that might be looking to send thank you notes. I know a lot of people have, coordinating thank you notes for their invitations, but that's a great gift to give. It's a great host gift if you're hosting in-person classes. But yeah, absolutely. Cards to give as gifts is always a great way, especially for people that aren't typically crafters. People love having handmade cards that they can send to others. Great gift idea. You heard you can put a tiny bit of Vaseline on the sides with a Q-tip. Oh, that's a good idea too. So you don't get the halo effect. I use my 2 thumbs to press on the far end of the opening, then I lubricate the sides of the ink pad with chapstick. Great tip, Carla. You do this to every new ink pad. Love it. How do you see everything included? So Yvette, with the starter kit, it actually is, you actually get to choose what you want. You get to choose $125 in product for only $99. It included with the kit then on top of that would be catalogs, order forms. There's a whole business supply kit. You can see that in the ordering screens. You'll get the making plans kit, which is the planner and the stamp set and the trio of notepads. You also get a past paper pumpkin kit, which is I think a $23 value. And I think that's everything that comes in the kit. But lots of great stuff. You only pay $99 and it's free shipping, which is an 11% discount because that's the only thing that's got free shipping unless we've got a free shipping day. So the starter kit really is a fantastic deal, especially if you're already going to be placing an order of 100 or more. Grab the starter kit, and then anything over that 125 you can put on your first demonstrator order and get a 20% discount on it because that's one of the best perks of being a demonstrator. Great question. Grid paper is... we actually have grid paper, Sarah. You're going to laugh at this because mine is cut into quarters. So imagine that this is 4 times the size. But yes, we've got grid paper. It has metric on one side, imperial measurements on the other, and it's actually 11 by 17 in size. You get 100 sheets of it. I think it's $10 to $12. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it in the catalog fast enough, but let me see. We also have small grid paper, which is great for the Stamparatus, our stamp positioning tool. This is when I need my tabs. Let's see if I can find the grid paper for you. There it is on page 149 of the catalog. Hopefully, Sarah, you got the catalog from me. Hopefully, if not today, tomorrow. But it's number 2. It's $12.50. You get 100 sheets. It's going to last you forever because you can use one of those sheets. I would use it until you don't see any more white. As long as nobody else sees it, right? Good question. All right. Do you not use the chamois for cleaning your stamps, Kathy? Ooh, I have a love-hate relationship with the chamois. I love it for cleaning stamps on the Stamparatus. Period. Otherwise, the Simply Chamois gets my fingers super inky, which bothers me. That's my crafty OCD. And here in Georgia, even if I keep it in our stamp cases that has a little bit of ventilation to it, they get moldy. So I've been experiencing that in the summertime. We're at about 97% humidity right now here in Atlanta. And those chamois, I know I can wash them, but the mold just kills me. It doesn't actually kill me, but it bothers me. They get moldy really fast. I don't have that problem with the Stampin' Scrub. I have like Simply Scored, Simply Chamois Stampin' Scrub in my head. So yeah, the chamois I only use sporadically. I will always grab the Stampin' Scrub before that if I can. It's my favorite. Yes, I cut it into quarters. The grid paper into quarters. Linda, thank you. You guys have such great questions. That's so awesome. Hey, Nalita. All right, we have reached the end of the Q&A, believe it or not. Thank you for sticking on with me if you stuck with me this far. I always love answering your questions. You guys have great questions. Your tips and tricks are helping the audience as well in our community. So thank you for all of your tips, tricks, and ideas that you shared during the live stream. I hope you got some fun tips or tricks from me today that maybe you didn't know before. If you did, be sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. I will be live next Wednesday. Am I live next Wednesday? I may not be live next Wednesday. Stay tuned because I'm going out of town Thursday, but I will keep you all posted. Tentatively, I will be live next Wednesday, and I hope to get a video tutorial out Friday with the Rings of Love card set. If not, it will come early next week. Just know that we are working away at product shares, doing the best we can to get content out to you as well as get through the product shares. So I hope you all had a happy 4th of July to those of you in the US. Have a wonderful and blessed week, and I will see you hopefully next Wednesday. Take good care. Thanks for joining us. Bye.